howling like a dog sound. He did a brother thing. He simply teased without thought. No big deal, really. But the 8-year-old soul that I was took that. I was vulnerable in a place of not knowing my truth, and I took that moment as reality for me. And I stopped singing. And I actually went so far not only to stop singing, but I jumped in on the bandwagon of making fun of my own singing voice. Because then it became sort of this bonding family thing, family joke. Oh, you don't know how to sing. You don't want to hear me sing. Woo-wee! You know, we would howl like a dog. And I had stopped singing. I still love music. And I still, in moments when I'm sure nobody could hear, would sing again. You know, like maybe in the shower, and when I got a little bit older, if all the windows were rolled up in the car, I would sing. But I held that weight, that belief, Robin can't sing. Robin has a laughable singing voice that no one should have to hear. And I held it for 20 years. And then I was participating in my mother's church in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, you remember Robin's mother is a Unity minister, and Robin eventually became a Unity minister. So she's in her mother's church in Nashville, Tennessee. Can you imagine one of the music capitals of the country? And the choir was amazing, as it is here. I mean, there were people who had been in Broadway, and this choir was phenomenal. And every Sunday I would love to sit in the front row, and I would even come to some of the practices just to listen. And I would sing along with them just quietly. And one day, the director came and said, "Why don't you come and sing with us?" Well, I'm sure you know what I said, right? I whipped out that core belief. No. I can't sing. You don't want to hear me sing. And she said, "Actually, I have. I can hear you from the front row, and you have a really good voice." And part of me wanted desperately to believe it. And the core belief of me said, "No way." But I decided to give it a try. I thought, well, there's so many voices and so many strong voices, nobody's ever going to even hear me. I'm just going to stand next to a really strong singer, and I'll have the experience. And I joined the choir, and I loved it. And at every opportunity, I would continue to trumpet that old core belief about not being able to sing. But thankfully, I was surrounded, listen to this, I was surrounded by a group of people who would not believe that erroneous thought. That's one of the things we can do for each other here at this church, folks, right? So she was surrounded by these people who would not believe that erroneous thought. People who continued to call me higher into my real truth. So one day at the end of rehearsal, the music minister came over and she had a calendar in her hand and she said, "So, when can I put you on a Sunday morning to do a solo?" And I backed quickly away. But thankfully, she would not relent. "When am I putting you on the calendar?" And I got put on the calendar to do a solo. And I worked with some wonderful, loving musicians, and I got up and sang, and nobody held their ears, and nobody howled like a dog. As a matter of fact, they clapped and they cheered, and I had found my voice. And I realized that it had always been there. Did you get that? I had chosen to silence it. I had allowed a simple, harmless, mindless moment to squash it. I had taken someone else's thought and opinion and had made it my truth and walked with that truth for 20 years. And this is how easily, folks, it can happen, right? The simplest of fleeting thoughts that comes from another person, we can take it and carry it and walk with it for years and years. Until the moment we choose to say, "No, this is not my truth." So whoever said you weren't smart enough, This is not my truth. Whoever said you were not good enough, this is not my truth. Whoever said you were a lousy singer, this is not my truth. Are you ready to claim it, to say it? It's the beginning, right? Because anything you see that is other than you are a wonderful, unrepeatable, extraordinary creation of God is not the truth. It's not the truth. It's false, it's erroneous, it's fear-based, it's judgment-based. It's not who you really are. Do you believe it? Do you? Okay. Even if the whole world surrounding you seems to be reinforcing that belief, you're lying on the stretcher by you're alone. Do you believe it? What helps you to think differently? Anybody know? I love myself so much that I can love you so. Okay, I can't sing. No, I shouldn't say that. I claim my voice. I haven't done Robin's work yet. She's got this wonderful analogy. This will be the last thing I share with you, but it's so powerful. The analogy of the Christ within you, your golden Buddha with the picture of a lighthouse. She says the lighthouse has a building that is the structure of the lighthouse, right? There's a building that holds the light. We have a physical structure too. It's our physical body. It's the seeable, touchable part of us. But within that lighthouse, right, there's a function, a primary function. Its greatest gift, what is it? I just said it. It's the light. The light shines, it knows only to shine, and it shines constantly and brilliantly in all directions. This is the divine essence of us, folks. Our pure, true, essential self is the light. So just picture that. The light within that house. It's pure, it's brilliant, it's magnificent, it shines without question in all directions. Now around the outside of the light, she talks about how the light is enfolded in glass, right? There's glass on all sides of that light. And no matter how brilliant the light is, if there is smudge, soot, dirt, clay, scratches on that glass that which shines out, it'll be less than, right? And that glass around our light is the sum total of our experiences. And I'm talking about all the experiences you've ever had, the good, bad, and the ugly, right? The triumphs and the failures, the memories, the beliefs, the wounds. And as we move through life, that glass does get soot covered, doesn't it? It gets pretty dirty and dingy at times. And there may even be places where there's so much on the glass that the light can't even shine out. You think? But the light, folks, this is what, remember how she said her voice was always there? The light is still shining. Always shining, never changing, brilliant, magnificent. So our work to lighten the load is what she calls, I love this, to activate our spiritual Windex. Time to clean the glass. The light's fine. To clean the glass, and there are certainly moments when someone else may come and clean off a smudge place, just like that music minister did for Robin. When she said, you have a good voice. Hold on to those. Cling to those people. Have those people in your life. The ones who are telling you the truth of who you are. Each time we engage in spiritual practice, each time we speak an affirmation, each time we listen when someone tells us the real truth, you are a beloved child of God. You are worthy. You are magnificent. You are necessary in this world. We are wiping away the old messages. We're taking that hammer and chisel, right? And breaking the shards of clay off. So Robin says the action step for this lesson, The fourth lesson of Sacred Abundance is spiritual Windex. So just get one of those, what is it, the blue bottles. Put it